Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's 1:30 on a nice, warm Thursday afternoon. Thanks for being here today. Kind of short on committee members today, but we've got Chris England. We've got all we need today, so we're good. I know some are watching Sindor. Anyway, others had commitments and sent a few questions to be asked. All right, we'll start off Board of Registers, page 1, first contract. Board of Registrars. Remember, please state your name clearly so we can get it.
Good afternoon. I'm Leanna Meadows, Executive Director for the Board of Registration for Foresters. Have a contract for an exam maintainer, grader, and for Scott Innebeck, he's a retired professor, for $16,000.
Okay. As you know, some forms weren't correct, but you got them done. Thank you very much. Just to stress, it's really tough on our group when we get stuff in that has to be volleyed back and forth multiple times. Just do your best. At some point, we're going to say, we're going to start holding some things. We don't get it right. I know y'all don't do a lot of contracts, so understand.
That's
Any
true.
Questions on that? Well, there you go. The
I
bearded
don't think
wonder
the
has
link
showed up.
goes to the link in the manual doesn't go to the right contract form. It didn't for me, but the one on the website, you could
Please.
click on it and it goes to it.
Okay.
I just went to the wrong one.
Life happens.
Sure does. I'm finding out that hard.
Okay, thank you very much. Commerce.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Erica McKay with the Department of Commerce. We just have one contract for you today. It is a contract amendment with Christoph Doer. It's a 2-year contract for $324,390.16.
And just FYI, they're not registered with the Secretary of State, but they're not domiciled here, and these contracts are between you guys, an international group. We understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Conservation.
Good afternoon, Juliana Dean from the Department of Conservation. We have 2 contracts before you today, both of them with Volkert. The first one is for civil and environmental engineering services.
Okay, and this was RFP'd?
RFQ'd, yes, sir.
RFQ'd?
Yes.
Okay.
And the second one is a no-cost time extension, also with Volkert.
And the next time this will be dealt with?
As soon as we finish the 2 pending projects, we will RFQ for these services.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Any
sir.
other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman Roberts.
Corrections.
Good afternoon. I'm Mandy Spears, the Department of Corrections. We have several engineering contracts today. They are all the same for the same services. First, we have Morris Engineering Services. This is a renewal of a contract. We are adding 2 years to the contract. There's no new money, and this company provides miscellaneous department remodeling, repair, and construction projects as funds are available.
All right, just a quick question on the RFP process. This was last RFP 22 January 21.
Yes.
The contract was let August 23, 21. Help me understand, will this be RFP'd again?
We generally will do it every 5 years.
Every 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? Okay.
The next contract is for Mills Connolly Engineering. This is a renewal, also adding 2 years to the contract, no new money.
Okay. Same question every 5 years. This
Yes,
was
sir.
a 2021. Okay.
Yes, sir. The third contract is GMC. This is a new contract for 2 years and up to $1.5 million on an as-needed basis to provide architectural services and project management services for departmental remodeling, repair, and construction projects as funds are available.
The same RFP process?
Yes, sir.
Any comments on how frequently something should be RFP'd by you guys? Any thoughts? Okay.
Not yet.
I'm sorry, there may be more coming. All right, bottom page 4.
And the last, or not the last, but Barrett Simpson, this is not a new contract. Again, this is a renewal, adding 2 years to the contract, no new money.
Okay. RFP in 21, so we'd expect another RFP in 25.
Yes. And the last is JMR plus H. This is a new 2-year contract not to exceed $1.5 million on an as-needed basis for remodeling and repair services.
Okay, thank you. Early childhood education.
Good afternoon, I'm Sam Adams from Early Childhood Education. Got an amendment to our child care data management project, which adds time and money to the existing contract with Bridge Care. It's 50% federal funds, 50% state funds.
All right, quick question.
Yes.
Down at the bottom of the form, Rye Consulting is listed as lobbyist. Who's their local lobbyist here?
There's not one. When I've asked that question, my understanding of it, what they do is they help in the preparation of proposals, and they probably shouldn't even been listed as a consultant. They're not a lobbyist.
Okay, this was RFP'd in 2021. The price has doubled. Help me understand that, please.
The price that has not doubled. It was a 2-year
But you're
contract.
it was a 2-year contract in 21.
It wasn't implemented until October, right, of
October 21.
21. Okay.
October 1 of 21 to be exact.
So it's 2
Help me
years, and then it was an additional 2 years is what we're amending it to today.
Help me I'm trying to understand why the price doubling. It's the cost of doing this doubled.
Well, if you look at the, I don't know if you've got it in front of you, but on the Exhibit D is the fee sheet, and the annual for the existing contract, $189,000, and the annual going forward is $216,000. Now there's a $50,000 add-on for the Learn system, which is a learning management system. They're adding a module on, so that's a part of it. But the total contract's going from $603,000 to, excuse my math, a little less than $500,000 for the, again, that's 2 years to 2 years.
Bottom page 5. Bridge Care Finance. We also don't have anything on there that they're registered with the Secretary of State to be doing business in Alabama. Any thoughts on that? Oh, we got it today. Okay. Yeah. Just-in-time management. Very good. All right. What about, that's it for me. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Education.
Good afternoon, members. My name is Jason Swan with the Department of Education, and we actually have 3 contracts, and I guess I'll just take them as the way they appear on their list. The first one is from the special education section. It is with Joycelyn Coolidge, doing business as the Center Street Consulting. It's a new contract that was RFP'd. It's utilizing federal funds of $188,000.
You jumped ahead from our order. This is top of page 7.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Let's see. I believe this person's going to, it's a federal grant, and this person's going to function as the evaluator and assessment of the systems and report back. It's a federal grant through the state personnel development grant, working with special education evaluation.
This is the Joycelyn Coolidge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you walk through some of your definitions here on the description? SESs, we assume ALSDE, Alabama State Department of Education, get that, and then there's an SPDG and a SES.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's the State Personnel Development Grant. That's a federal grant program that the department applied for. And of course, the ALSDE is our department, and then the special education, the Office of Special Education is the federal agency.
So SES is
Special education.
okay. All right, any other questions? In OSEP, Office of Special Education?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A couple others, if you look down in the syllabus, you'll see where those were described, what the acronyms mean. It would be helpful just in the future on some of these.
Yes, sir. I'll make a note of that.
Okay. All right, then Lexi Learning.
Lexi Learning is from our Office of Reading Initiative, ARI. It is a sole source. And actually, if you're familiar with it, this is to support the program for the LETTERS program, which is obviously integrated in with our the Literacy Act to provide the science of reading training for schools. It's a pretty intensive program, 1 to 2 years that the individuals have to go through. And we've done a really good job of getting most of our teachers LETTERS certified and LETTERS trained in the science of reading to comply with the Literacy Act.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, this is an annual contract, is that correct?
I think it's for 2 years. Well, that's actually for a year, but obviously it does a lot. It's not just, it's training, it's materials, and like I said, the training is 1 to 2 years of duration for the individuals.
Okay.
Then lastly, we also have it's another sole source. It's a new contract. It's also, it's with our Amsterdam office with Spark Innovations, doing business as Ms. Sweeney, Diane Sweeney Consulting. It's a sole source for $34,000. It is related to coaching. Again, this is coaching for our Amsterdam individuals to dovetail in with our Office of Math Improvement.
So it's for a 3-day program.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Are we covering hotels for everyone? I mean, help me understand what this is. I know it.
Actually, I think it costs the materials and the travel for the trainer coming in, for the training and for the travel for this individual. I can look back at the.
Okay.
It's for the programs and I think the program materials and the travel for 3 days, and to maintain, I guess, the building, the facility where they'll have the training, the venue.
Comments? Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Environmental management.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I'm Russell Kelly with ADEM. This contract's 2 years, extension at $25,000 a year. They provide the toxicity testing on behalf of the department. We did that testing prior to 2020. Chemists retired, and in an effort to replace, it was very difficult at the particular pay scale we have. And so we looked at RFP, in which we came up with a laboratory, and our cost associated somewhere around $100,000 to replace and to continue. So it seemed like in this particular endeavor, the private sector was the way to go. So at $25,000 a year, they provide toxicity testing for our numerous wastewater outfalls, which we have over 30,000, and do a pretty good job for us. So, and we will be RFPing again. This is the
So the wet testing is just like a wet lab?
Yeah, what happens here is you have microorganisms or you have a media, and then you expose those to these samples we've collected on the discharge, and you basically look at the mortality rate. If they survive over a period of time, you pass the toxicity test. If they don't, they failed, and we either need to tighten the limits or see what's going on at the plant. This is just one analysis of the many analysis for these discharges.
How is this posted somewhere for bidders to bid on? How do y'all communicate that this is available?
Well, originally it was posted on the webpage, and we went through the RFP process in 2020, major newspapers and on the ADM website, and I think at the Secretary of State's office or when they post.
So it's our central posting
yes,
site.
Yes,
Okay.
is my understanding. That's how it would be done. I believe that's the way it was done in 2020.
And it'll be next RFP.
Yes, sir.
When?
25.
25.
This is a 2-year extension at $25,000 a year. It was my understanding we could go 5 years.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
while I have Mr. Kelly, may I hijack your meeting for just a second?
Absolutely.
How's your ARPA funding distribution going?
It's going quickly. We are, as of last Friday, committed out of the 395. We've got commitments and agreements, if you will, because a lot of that's matched, about $226 million. Now, we won't have an update this week because of the short week. We'll have another one next week, which will be quite large, I'm expecting.
Very good. I'm looking forward to the next Oversight Committee meeting on the ARPA funding, Mr. Chairman. Senator Albritton, in the near future, so that we can
Yes, sir.
go through the details of where those awards are and what the remaining is. So, okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Finance.
Good afternoon, Taylor Nichols with the Finance Department. This contract is a maintenance and operations contract for the state's accounting system. We're currently implementing another statewide system, and I believe y'all have had some discussion about that prior, but we're currently implementing another statewide system, so we've had to extend the existing contract in an attempt to merge those contracts together later on.
Are we getting close?
We are getting close. This is a 1-year extension. If we don't have that decision finalized by the end of this calendar year, we will go out to RFP for this contract.
Anticipating my questions. Thank you. And then we also, the LLC members are Envision Systems LLC. Inquiring minds, if you look on the form, an LLC is owned by another LLC that's doing this. We're going to hold this just till you get that information to us on that, please. But
I will do.
I know there's a lot of moving parts of what you're doing here, and it sparked a lot of conversation prior to the meeting. Thank y'all for working with us on this, and the CPO for answering a few questions. I know you've chatted with them. So we'll hold this just till we get LLC members for that. But looking forward to get out of the emergency state here on continuing to renew emergency contracts.
We are too.
Good. We're very much in favor of that. Thank you, Taylor. Forensic Sciences.
Good afternoon, Senator members. I'm Angelo Delamano with the Department of Forensic Sciences. Today we have one extension, no-cost time extension for 1 year with Dewberry Engineers associated with our forensic laboratory and medical morgue facility in Huntsville.
Professional commissioning services. Can you define that, please, sir?
I can. This is the engineering firm that works on behalf of the state with the DCM to check all of the architectural drawings and the specifications to ensure that everything from HVAC balance and everything is as it was designed. And then the building gets commissioned, and insurance goes down.
Any idea when this was originally posted? We have some other members that had questions about this. When was this originally posted, and when will it be RFP'd or posted again, and where was it posted?
Yeah, it won't be posted again. The facility is due to be completed in the first quarter of '24, and it was the RFP through DCM's website, and then bid responses were pre-qualified through an interview panel and selected in 2022.
Okay. So this will terminate this, but future postings will be on the public database so everybody can see it easily by checking one spot.
Yes, sir.
Great. All right, any other questions? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Senator.
Historical Commission.
Good afternoon. My name is Dorothy Walker. I'm with the Alabama Historical Commission, and we have one contract with you guys for extension of time and funding for exhibit fabrication and installation at the Freedom Rides Museum.
All right, you know, we had a few filing issues, got it corrected. Please help our guys in the future on this. Help me understand other sources of funds, 87%, and it's departmental receipts.
Yes.
Help me understand that, please.
Well, those are funds within the department, within the agency, that are being allocated for this project. State funds. The original contract was federally funded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that. I was interested in what departmental receipts were. So this is funds that you had already there and you're appropriating them this way.
That have been identified over time as the project has gone. This has been a multi-phase project. And so as we have completed the phases, we've identified additional funding within the state agency funds to support this is the conclusion of the project, to finish out the main gallery exhibits.
Okay. Main gallery?
Yes, we have an exterior exhibit on the building, and as well as we did the first phase of the interior gallery, and now this is the final phase that will be the main gallery within the museum.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Insurance?
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Lowe with the Department of Insurance. I've brought before you today an amendment to our INS contract for examination services and an increase of funds.
Any questions?
Would you allow me to hijack your meeting?
Please, sir.
Thank you for that. Okay, and this has nothing to do with what you just said, but I had a constituent contact me, hold on, and I may approach you after the meeting to get further answers about this, but we administer a program, Strengthen Alabama Homes, and I know this is probably not even your department, but there's a number of people who are very interested in the program, but are having an awful time trying to navigate it.
Yes, sir. I'd be happy to speak with you about that.
Okay, because I need some direction, because, one constituent in particular has been trying to get into the program or enter into the program, and whatever application, website, whatever they're trying to get into, it keeps kicking them out. And now they're at a point now where they're about to break a computer. So
yes, sir. It's a very highly competitive program, and so I'll be happy to discuss with.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Engel, do you represent Senator Elliott? I'm sorry.
I do not, but I'll be more than happy to.
Okay. Heather, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Oh,
I'm sorry. Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I see that you've got 7 contracts here all dealing with the same type thing, maternity services in different parts of the state. Is that correct?
That is not correct, sir.
Are we on Medicaid here?
No,
No, sir.
we're still
Department
on
of
insurance, sir.
Oh,
Medicaid's
man.
next.
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting excited. All right.
He came in hot, folks.
I can speak with you after too as well.
Came in just, anyway, all right, never mind.
Heather, I did not plant that question. I promise you that did not happen.
I have time to discuss with you later as well.
I don't believe that, by the way, but
Mr. Chairman, Heather and I were on the phone most of the day yesterday discussing that program and some issues, some technical issues they were having yesterday. So that's why the chuckles over here.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Heather. Medicaid.
Good afternoon, members of the committee, Mr. Chairman. The Alabama Medicaid Agency, as you noted earlier, is here with 7 contracts.
You want to say your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Nick Hines with the Alabama Medicaid Agency. The agency is here with 7 contracts before you. Each one of the contracts is related to one of the 7 Alabama Coordinated Health Networks, or ACHNs, that are in 7 distinct areas across the state. And as the Senator noted, it's for a care coordination for the recipients in each one of those areas.
Okay. Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Now my turn. So each one of these is for a completion of the fiscal year, correct?
I believe
the end of September 30th.
I believe that's correct. I have a member from the agency that can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, and each one of them is somewhere around the $430,000 to $500,000 for the last couple of months of the fiscal year. Is this a cost overrun?
It is. It's an increase in cost related to 2 things. First, the continuation of the public health emergency. So the maintenance eligible
over with.
As to these contracts, it's my understanding that this is the end. Is that correct? That this would be the last you'll see of that on here, unless something changes that the agency doesn't have control over. And then also included in this is a special outreach related to sickle cell disease.
But there's a matter of a cost overrun. Basically, because we were in the medical emergency last year when we set the budget up. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so it was what would cause the cost overruns? What I'm going to each of these is a substantial. I mean, we're talking I guess $3 million or so.
I believe that's correct.
So what was the reason for the overrun, or was it our misinterpretation of where we're going to be?
Can I check with a member of the staff that I have here with me, Senator, to see if she can answer that question?
If you want to, you can get with me afterwards if you like. I just noticed this, and it has me concerned when we seem to be this far off, this close to the end of the year. That disturbs me a little bit. But other than that, I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
We can pause for a minute, Senator, if you would like an answer.
Up to the chair. I just don't want to hold everybody up on my little belly.
We're good.
All right. If you can get a response, or how did we miss that target, if I might?
Yes, sir, Senator.
Okay, so because we could not introduce yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm LaTanya Jackson in the Networks Division of Medicaid. Because there were no recipients who were terminated because of PHE, that number was raised. So we still had those, which was more than we had budgeted for the previous year.
Okay, so because we have not been able to get them rolled off in the timely manner and such, so this is a reflection of the number of people that continue to be on the rolls that we did not anticipate being so.
That is correct.
All right, that answers my question. Thank you.
Okay, I've got a question on the third one, top of page 11.
Yes, sir.
That was RFP'd in January 19, contracted October 1, 19, anticipated next RFP date.
They will all be anticipated next RFP date of 2025.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Penn, Mental Health. We have two consulting group.
Can you hang on one second? I've got one more question, sorry. Page 13, top. Oh, we did get that. LLC members. Yes, thank you. I got that yesterday. Hold on, let me just go. That's good. We're good. All right, mental health.
Okay. My first contract is Claris Consulting Group. It's an amendment. We're adding time to the contract, no new money.
Any questions? Okay.
Next is Copper Wing Design. It's a new contract posted to the database, 220 direct solicitations with 7 responses.
We discussed this another time in my tenure here on trying to come up with a statewide, working together with the CPO, of how we would most effectively employ outreaches like this. And there seems that there's got to be a way that interdepartmentally we can work together with groups so that we're not just one-off, hiring different groups to accomplish these tasks here. And I really hope that we'll consider doing that.
Yes, sir. This vendor will design and implement a media campaign to make the public aware of the 988 crisis care system.
It's certainly an important program.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Office of Minority Affairs.
Good afternoon. I'm Stacia Robinson, the Director of the Alabama Office of Minority Affairs. We're bringing 2 contracts before you. The first one is a contract for strategic planning and setting a strategic roadmap that goes to Perceptus out of on our behalf. It's a short-term contract.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, and the second one is a opportunity and growth study to actually baseline all of our data and do quantitative analysis on all of the areas for which we're responsible for. They'll be working with all the agencies on behalf of identifying gaps in information on business, health, education, justice, all the categories that we're responsible for in our office.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you very much. Oil and Gas Board.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, I'm Bennett Bearden with the Alabama Oil and Gas Board. Contract that we have before you today is for oil field service and supply. This is a plugging and abandoning operation to preserve the environmental integrity of the sites, to protect our precious state water resources. And all of this money came from the application bond that was put up when these wells were drilled. We have 28 wells in the White Oak field we need to plug in Walker County.
Did the operator just walk away?
Sometimes, Mr. Chairman, I think it's complete evisceration. Yes, sir. They abandoned them, walked off, left it. And fortunately, we had this bond in place to take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I visited your offices in the last year and enjoyed getting to see what y'all do. It's unfortunate, but good thing we have the bond in place. Good job.
We appreciate it and appreciate your support. Can I editorialize for one
Please,
moment?
sir.
I want to say hello to my representative, Chris England, in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and tell him to tell his father I said hello. When I was a young DA in Tuscaloosa, he taught me how to try a lawsuit. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Bennett. Pardon and paroles.
Good afternoon. I'm Claudia Smith with Pardons and Parole. We have 5 contracts today. 4 are amendments with AltaPoint to amend the language for the alternative dispute resolution clause. The 5th is an extension of time for our Thomasville facility with GMC.
Any questions on any of the 5? I've got a question on the last one. RFP'd in 19. Assume that's coming up for RFP
Soon.
in the near future?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as in next year?
I believe it'll be 25.
What was 19? Yeah,
I think the contract was maybe entered into at 20.
July 19.
Was the contract?
Contract entered into RFP.
Grab that one on the bottom.
4/26/19, entered into 7/25/19. So it needs to be a 24, I would think.
Okay. We'll make a note of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Public health.
Good afternoon. I'm Valerie Russell with the Department of Public Health. I'm here on 3 contracts. The first one is with the Binks Health. It's for an increase in the contract price. This company provides at-home STD testing, notification and referral, and treatment for at-risk individuals with no access to STD and HIV testing or prevented services.
Questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next one is MedBridge. This is to provide a platform, an educational platform for home health staff, for training, focuses on infection, other things like new processes, changes in processes, updates from CMS, interaction with patients and employees. It's to build the platform and to provide training also. It's 2 years, 100% state-funded new contract.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next one is, the contractor is incorrectly listed. He's actually one of the LLC members. It's with Q-Centric, and this will develop medical legal, which refers to the law and medicine, software to be used by coroners and by medical examiners to provide a unified system to collect data. It's 100% federally funded, and it's a new contract.
All right, 1 second, Jason.
Yes, sir.
As to the statement that the contractor is listed incorrectly on the agenda, they submitted the contract review report and listed the name of the individual instead of the corporation, and so that's the reason why it's reflected with the individual's name. So I just wanted to correct that statement.
That's correct. I did not mean to imply that it was not our fault. In fact, I was owning up to that, I thought. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mislead anybody.
So is this contract with an LLC or with an individual?
It is with an LLC.
The contract is correctly stated, but just the information that's used to make the agenda was incorrect.
Okay. All right, we've made that correction here. Okay.
I'm sorry for the confusion. I certainly did not mean to imply anything.
Yeah, our guys are on it, so. All right, next, that's it.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Hold 1 sec.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. How many counties in the state use coroners and how many don't? Do you know?
I do not know off the top of my head. I have a representative here. I'm not sure if that representative would know or not.
Still. Sandra Reese, Alabama Department of Public Health. So all the counties have coroners, but Jefferson County has medical examiners.
So they're the only one, Jefferson County's the only one left now with a medical examiner?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rehab services, page 21.
Hello, I'm
I'm Karen Jenkins with the Department of Rehab Services. We have 2 contracts with you. Both are for to provide statewide training for our supported employment providers.
Questions? Okay, 22.
That one is also to provide supported employment training for our supported employment providers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Transportation.
Clay McBride with Alabama DOT. We have 9 contracts in front of you. The first one is with Alvarez and Marsal, disputes and investigations. This is for the Coliseum Boulevard plume monitoring and consulting.
Okay. Second one, we had some amount issues now corrected on the submission there, just FYI.
Okay. That's with Behavioral Health Systems Incorporated. These are providing alcohol and drug testing for our public transportation providers around the state.
Okay.
The next one is with Arcadius USA. This is Transportation Support Services, which means they do the design on our plans for our projects. They're one of the ones we have available to do that.
All right.
Next one is Atkins, North America, the first one with them, and this is for transportation studies, for instance, traffic and safety studies.
Okay, I'm good with the next one too. Okay. Anybody questions? I go to page 26.
Next one is McGee Engineering Corporation. They do one of the ones available to do construction engineering inspection under construction once a project starts.
I'm good on that one. I'm good on the next one. Any questions? 27.
Southern Engineering Solutions, same thing, construction engineering inspection.
I'm good on both those.
Okay, the next one is Geotechnical Engineering. They're geotechnical services for the design of our projects.
All right, 28. We had some contract number issues on this one, which.
28.
I'm so sorry. Turn 2 pages.
Okay, that's 28's treasurer.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Treasury.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and committee members. I'm Young Boozer, State Treasurer and Chairman of the Board of the PAC program. The contract you have in front of you is with Kassouf. They are a CPA firm out of Birmingham. They are currently providing auditing services for us. This is a 5-year contract averaging about $34,000 a year.
It's an important service.
Absolutely. Can't live without it.
Yes, sir. We have several questions, but I think we'll hold those for another time. But thanks for being in business and for the work you do, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, legal contracts, AG's office, page 29.
Good afternoon, Catherine Robertson from the AG's office. I've got 6 for us, 20-something for one of our clients, and another for the DA's office that we're going to cover for them, if that's all right.
Okay, let me save you some breath. I'm good on page 29, both of those. Good on 30. I'm good on 31. Anybody has questions, speak up. I'm good on 32. No, we're down to 32. So all yours, no problems, no questions, unless members do. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Corrections, page 32. Oh, you're going to keep going?
Okay. So there are a number of damages cases that are listed here that we are here to present on behalf of DOC. None of them are new. They are renewals. Happy to go through them
one by one, if y'all would like.
Let me pause there. There were some articles written just recently that sort of incorrectly assumed that these were all new contracts. These are contracts that were previously in existence. You had a lead attorney who changed firms. We discussed multiple ways to handle some of these, and we decided to handle it by bringing them back as new contracts. It made sense. So we've done that. So I think we're dealing with, you want to just walk through? I think that's
Yeah, I'll be happy to
32.
just go through them really quickly. And
Okay.
I mean, so page 32, that's a previous Maynard contract, now Butler Snow, that's a 2018 case. Page 33, Terry Tompkins, that's a 2021 case where the defense, there were conflicts amongst the defendants, so we have to spread out that representation.
Okay.
Page 34, Capel Howard, 2021 case. That was the attorney that you mentioned had retired. That's a reassignment and a renewal.
Okay.
Page 35, same as the Bob Northcutt retired. Alan Sheehan has taken those, and that's a 2021 case. Same on page 36, 2021 case. I am not here on the top contract for page 37, but bottom of 37, 2020 case. Top of 38, 2020.
Okay, you are not here on the top of 37?
No, sir. I think the Department of Corrections is prepared to talk about that. Bottom of 38 is a 2020 case. Top of 39 is 2019. Bottom of 39 is 2021. Page 40, 2021 case. Bottom of 40, 2020 case.
Mr. Chair, may?
Yeah, hold on one second. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just making a note, I don't know if this means anything or not, but from page 37, top of page 37 through, I guess the bottom of page 49, everyone is the William R.
Yes, sir.
Now, that's a lot of cases. Is one individual able to handle all of those cases, and how much does all of those cases total out to be?
The requested contracts, I think they might be in a better position to answer some of those questions.
Yes, ma'am, but you're here.
Yes, sir, I am, as are they.
They're here also, just so
Okay,
you know.
well, we'll get to it.
I think that there was a time period in 2019, 2020, 2021 where there was a strategy perhaps to keep some of this work at the same law firm that was handling the three big cases. I have not seen any new requests of that nature for the same individual or the same firm. So perhaps that's something that we're getting away from.
Okay. And these are not new. These are ongoing.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
And these are, as you mentioned, going back to 2019 or so.
Yes, sir. One of them's 2018, but the rest are 2019 through 21 for the most part.
And any idea on the one of these on page 37, the total cost is $9,900,000, and that's the beginning of the 12 pages. So we're talking about tens of millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yes.
We'll talk to DOC more fully about that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, where are you?
I think I'm on page 41. Top of 41 is a 2022 case. Bottom of 41, bottom of 41, 2021. Page 42, 2020 case. Bottom of 42 is a 2021 case. Sorry to be kind of mundane. Top of 43 is 2021. Bottom of 43, 2022. Top of 44, 2021 case. Bottom of 44, 2019 case. Top of 45, 2020 case. Bottom of 45, 2021 case. Top of 46, 2020 case. Bottom of 46, 2021. And I'll note, we had a previous prison commissioner during this time too. So some of these outlast the current commissioner. Top of 47, 2020, bottom of 47, 2021. Top of 48, 2022 case, bottom of 48, 2021.
All right, hold up. You're going faster than I can turn.
I'm sorry.
This right now. Both those are on 48 or 2021s.
2022 is top, 2021 is bottom.
Okay.
Sarah Elliott has his eyes closed, so I was trying to go fast.
Well, and Mr. Chair, I hate to interrupt the cadence that we found ourselves in, but if I may.
Please.
You mentioned, Ms. Robinson, that there was a time when DOC felt that keeping these types of cases together was advantageous. Perhaps. It would seem so. Are these cases substantially similar to the behemoth of the Braggs case?
There's more than one big case, and sometimes, I don't want to say anything that's going to alert people to suing us more, but sometimes we have various levels of defendants in the department, and depending on which level defendant is involved, sometimes it would make sense to have the same representation for uniformity in defenses, similar fact patterns and whatnot.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand why the one individual is tasked with all of this work. And perhaps that's a better question.
Might be better dealt with.
The Department of Different Place.
Probably so.
Yeah. Well, I may reserve the right to mention that again.
I mean, I'll ask it. So, all right, if these are all Department of Corrections contracts with the same individual, all right, why are you presenting all of these and they're only presenting one of them?
I was asked, our department was asked to prepare them. We have a great administrative services division that was happy to do that. I'm here because we had 6 contracts of our own, happy to make sure that they have continued representation in these matters. Beyond that, that's probably a question for somebody else.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Keep going.
You're at 49.
All right. The last 2 contracts are 2021 and 2019.
Okay.
I do want to note, obviously, there are significant financial considerations when it comes to prison litigation. By my count, we are now handling over 80% of their cases in-house, and that's the plan. So we're trying to bring the cost down.
When you say in-house, you mean in the Attorney General?
In the Attorney General's office, yeah. If we're no further questions on that, if I could jump to the DA's contract on page 51.
Yes.
That would be all right. This is a case that we appointed a DAG to for them because there was a parallel criminal investigation. The employees were ultimately cleared in that, but we were not able to represent them civilly. So we've appointed outside counsel, Rosen Harwood, you see here.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. DOC would be great.
Hi guys, again, I'm Mandy Spears, Assistant General Counsel for the for the Department of Corrections. I heard that one too many times.
I'm sure it feels like that often, doesn't it?
No, not really. So I am here on the Bill Lunsford case for Butler Snow. This is for the Department of Justice.
What page?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the top of 37.
Top of 37.
It's the 9.9 million.
This is the 9.9 million. And Representative England, I'm sure you remember in January, this contract was approved. So this is, again, like Ms. Robertson said, this is a contract that was approved in January with minor changes to this month's.
Okay. Do you have a question?
I do, Mr. Chairman, if I may. So moving forward, is it the department's intention, in conjunction with the Attorney General's office, to try to handle as much of this litigation in-house to try to reduce some of these costs?
Funny you should ask. The Department of Corrections has two types of litigation ongoing. We have damages cases where it's normally inmates or somebody suing for money damages, and then we have our big injunctive cases, which are Bragg's, Department of Justice. We have two Department of Justice suits, and there's a third one or a fourth one that I can't remember off the top of my head. Those are asking for injunctive relief. They're asking us to change things we do. They don't want money. The Attorney General's office in April pulled all the Assistant Attorney General designations for the 6 attorneys at the Department of Corrections. Therefore, Department of Corrections attorneys can no longer represent the Department of Corrections. So we are unable to bring any of them in-house, so the Attorney General's office had to assume those. The 4 injunctive cases that I mentioned, DOJ, Bragg's, and Duke, the fourth one, those we remain in-house, and Mr. Lunsford, this is one of those. Mr. Lunsford does represent us in that one. And to kind of piggyback on what Ms. Robertson was saying, a lot of these cases, damages and the systemic litigation cases, have overlapping fact patterns, overlapping claims. If we parceled it out to different attorneys on each one, we would have duplicated efforts and actually cost the state more money, because we're having to do the same depositions twice. We're having to do the same litigation twice, because we would have different attorneys.
So I'm assuming that's the plan that going forward is to continue using the same attorneys for the cases.
Every legal services contract presented before you, that attorney is selected and appointed by the Attorney General's office. So we actually, while we may request a certain attorney, the Attorney General's office actually has the authority to tell us yay or nay on that attorney. So we will submit the request. Again, we only have the 4 cases. So we will submit the request on the attorney that we want, and if the Attorney General's office agrees with that or not is up to them. And again, the rates are set by the governor's office, so our hands are tied there also.
But these are the attorneys you requested.
We requested Mr. Lunsford. He is basically the only expert in prison litigation in the Southeast, and we're really lucky to have him representing us. So yes, he has been with us since the beginning of this litigation, and he represents us in all the cases. Again, if we had different attorneys in different cases, they would be doing the same thing twice, and we would be paying for it twice. Whereas if we have one attorney handling it all, I believe it saves the state money.
I mean, relatively speaking, I mean, we're probably giving Lunsford $100 million.
Well, and it's worth noting that all the money that goes to Mr. Lunsford is not all $195 an hour attorney's fees. That number that he gets goes to a lot of different things. For example, the volume of discovery in the DOJ case that we're here on today is, I'm not a computer person, so forgive me. It's in the, I had to write it down because I'm not a computer person. It's in the terabytes of data. The Attorney General's office, nor any law firm in the state of Alabama, has the capacity to handle that kind of discovery. It has to be outsourced. So that is not, the 9.9 that everybody gets hung up on, it's not just $195 an hour billed by attorneys.
I'm not hung up on 9.9. I'm hung up over well over $100 million over the life of this litigation that is going to the same, well, I guess not the same law firm, but the same attorney.
But again, that's what I was trying to... And
part of this is, you know, we aren't, I mean, let's just be honest. There's not much dispute in terms of liability here. It's in terms of like some of our issues and overcrowding and conditions, correct, staffing and so forth. So a lot of this just continues to drag on, and it just ends up costing us a lot more money instead of just trying to figure out a way to work it out. But, you know, so yeah, I don't have an issue with the 9.9 million. I mean, Lunsford is basically a government agency at this point, so.
Well, and again, we are, you know, the cost, we could not write a check for the defendants in the DOJ case. There is no dollar amount that they would take that would make them happy. They want institutional change. And I will tell you, the Department of Corrections is making changes, and we are working with the amount of money we have to do the best we can.
institutional change is not free.
No, it is not.
It costs. And every time, as this case continues to pend in court, and we fall further into this abyss, the eventual price tag on medical side, facilities, personnel, it's going to be astronomical.
Right.
So, no, I mean, I fully understand what you're talking about in terms of injunctive relief. Doesn't cost money, but it does.
No, injunctive relief, but what I'm saying is if I pulled out my checkbook today, I couldn't write them a check that would make them happy. They want things done. Getting things done costs money also, and we can't do it overnight. But we are working with the courts. Also, the Attorney General's office has prohibited us from settling this case multiple times.
No, and it's not even... For example, Bragg's case, personnel, are we at a net gain in the number of corrections officers we're required to have to satisfy that court?
I will tell you, our recruiting class that will start this fall is one of our largest we've ever had.
You didn't answer my question.
Because I don't have that information.
Right.
But I will tell you that our new class that's starting at the academy, I think in September, is one of the largest we've ever had.
And we probably still haven't hit zero yet.
I promise you I'll get you that information this week.
But I will say, if you look at labor numbers that came out today, just under 500,000 were added, and anticipated for this month was 220,000. It is remarkable, the employment factors that we're functioning at today. As you know, the markets took a beating today just in anticipation of another 25-point basis hike by the Fed, which causes concern for all of us. But anyway, you're seeing the labor market more tight now than I think we've seen it in a long time. So I'm grateful for the progress you're making.
And the legislature was wonderful. We've gotten pay raises for our officers. We've gotten more benefits for our officers. So the legislature has been really great in supporting our law enforcement in the facilities.
Yeah.
And that helps recruit.
Absolutely. You know, we've done the absolute... I mean, we've done a lot in a very short amount of time, but at the same time, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody could find any tangible condition got any better within our facilities recently. We're down to one facility, $1 billion. We're on a healthcare contract that's $1 billion. And, we say this all the time, and, again, I know there's no cost to injunctive relief, but Senator Albritton will tell you there's a big old hole in that budget that deals with the Department of Corrections, and it continues to grow probably daily.
Oh, and we understand there is a huge cost to injunctive relief.
Yeah.
We need to continue to see families strengthen in Alabama. All right. Any other questions, comments?
I'm Mary Coleman Roberts. I'm also here on behalf of the DOC, and Mandy's done a fabulous job today, but I just wanted to offer myself if anyone has any additional questions that maybe Mandy couldn't answer.
We're good on 50. All right, well, give us just a second to make sure we're good. Are there any questions on the contracts that are still open? I think we've covered them in depth. We got that straight on page 50. Thank you very much for getting that straight.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
One day help us work on the victim notification system.
Okay. All right. We're on page 50, just FYI. The top health planning.
Good afternoon, members. My name is Emily Marsal, and I'm the Executive Director of the State Health Planning and Development Agency. This contract is for legal representation from an appeal before the Court of Civil Appeals from a decision made by the Certificate of Need Review Board.
All right, look at your description of what this is. Can you walk us through the acronyms? And here again, if you look just back a little bit where they were defined. Walk us through those, please.
Yes, sir. SHPTA is the State Health Planning and Development Agency. BBH SBMC is Shelby Baptist Medical Center, LLC, and St. Vincent's Birmingham are the parties involved in the appeal. Does that take care of your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I would just ask that they be written out next time. It would
Yes,
be
sir.
helpful. Sometimes you play these games when you're reading these, trying to put together what they are, and
absolutely
crossword puzzle people like it. They can usually figure it out. But
understand.
Very good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. So we're on page 52. No. Bottom of 50, sorry. Human Resources.
Yes, sir. I'm Jennifer Bush with the DHR Legal Office, and we have a new 2-year contract with Jason M. Jones of the JMJ Law Firm for legal services to the county DHR offices.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good on what? Okay, 52, Space Science Exhibit Commission.
Hi, I'm Brenda Perez. I'm the CFO at U.S. Space and Rocket Center, Alabama Space Science Exhibit Commission, and I'm the lucky one that has another Bill Lunsford contract. How I won that, I'm not sure. This is an ongoing case, and this contract was approved last year under Maynard Cooper, and this is just moving the services to Butler Snow.
Very talented man, I take it. So. Okay, any questions?
Mr. Chairman, real quick, I'm sorry, and I appreciate you leaning into that because it was coming one way or the other. I guess this is a staff question, and I think it's probably one that we need to ask. How many contracts and what is the value of the contracts that this firm or this individual has?
I'm certainly not firm and has gone to another firm. That's why we're seeing these all in 2 tranches.
I understand, right? But I think the volume that has shown a light, if you will, on the volume that is associated with this one individual, as you said, clearly a very talented individual. I've not had the pleasure, but Jason, is there a way we can look? And I'm certainly not expecting you to have that data now, but just to see if we can quantify how much from different, we got corrections to the, Space Science Exhibit Commission, all in the same, that's a lot of eggs in one basket.
Yes, sir. We could pull that information as far as for those vendors in our database, as far as what their cap was. We'd have to go in and probably look at some other records and pull something as far as getting actual dollar figures spent, because a contract that say is $200,000, they may not spend that. They may, it just really kind of depends, but we could work on that.
Okay. I'll talk with you about some specifics later. I don't want you to go too far down that road. Let's take it in bites if we can.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. And again, I appreciate your candor and leaning into that on the front end. So, thanks for
transportation.
Oh. We have one contract with Balch and Bingham. This is for representation in the Baldwin County Bridge Company lawsuit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, on this one, I don't need any questions answered, but this one is just a gift that keeps on giving. We're now a new total of $1.4 million in legal on that one.
Which one? The bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you would have some thoughts on that.
That's just frustrating.
All right, Treasurer, we'll cap it off with you, Mr. Boozer.
Can I get a motion to adjourn? No.
Probably get a lot of seconds really quickly, sir.
A lot out of here. Good afternoon again. Young Boozer, State Treasurer. We have one contractor with Capel Howard. The assigned attorney is David Hughes, and the purpose is to provide legal services to the treasurer as we work with the Distressed Institution of Higher Education Revolving Loan Program.
Okay. Any questions? Mr. Boozer, great way to cap it off. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here again today. Look forward to seeing you first Thursday next month.
How many